So when I started the business, I really wanted to work remote because I just had this dream of working from home.
Julie,
Yes.
do you come here often?
I don't come to this specific cafe often, but I like meeting people here because it's very pleasant.
Because it's very pleasant.
Yeah, it's so cute here. And I think part of the perk of being an entrepreneur is that you can go to a lot of different places whenever you want, basically. So I love exploring really cute and interesting independent cafes. And this being one of them.
Yeah. So you usually work from home, right? And this is basically on your way to work?
Typically, if I'm meeting other team members or clients, I would be in this area, and it's a convenient place to come to. But there's other cafes I really like as well in the city, including La Forêt and Burnaby.
La Forêt is a good one.
Yeah, right? I also really enjoy, so I live in South Surrey, which is kind of out of the way, but within South Surrey, there's a couple really nice cafes as well, including Island Cafe, Leon's Waffles, things like that.
So today I'm following Julie. What we are doing, Julie?
So today, I'm doing a co-working day with my team where we meet up and discuss a few projects, get some FaceTime with each other, and then we're actually going to do a client site visit to meet them in person, which we actually have never done before. We always talk over Zoom and online and through email, but since they're in the city, we're really excited to talk to them.
I think clients are gonna be happy to see you in person. Yeah. So we are following Julie today, shadowing her how she works and how she runs her company. And basically it's to showcase how a typical day in life of a founder in Vancouver, BC. So we're going to try to capture as much as we can, and Julie will try to teach us as much as she can about how to get clients, how to do customer relations, and how to actually run a marketing agency. So stay tuned.
So now we are heading to a co-working session with my key account manager, Kieran.
So how many employees you have?
So actually, I have a team of 5, a combination of employees and contractors that I work with, and everyone's remote across the Lower Mainland. So it's actually not super easy to get a lot of people together all at once, but we work really well together remotely. And I think everyone enjoys the flexibility of a remote job. And that's one of the benefits at working, in a digital agency.
So you started as a remote company, or was it like an in-person company, and because of COVID you had to move to remote and you stayed remote?
So when I started the business, I really wanted to work remote because I just had this dream of working from home. So that was the start. But that was very rare and not common when I first started it. But yeah, we're headed to the WeWork office on Marine Drive right now. So typically, because we don't have a physical office and everyone works remotely, depending on when and where we're going somewhere, we usually book a co-working space to get together.
I see.
Yeah.
So what's on the agenda today?
Yeah, so for today, like I mentioned, later today, we are meeting one of our clients for the first time to chat with them in person and really build that relationship and connection with them. But we've been working with this particular client for about a year or so, and we run Google ads for them with the hopes of driving new appointment bookings and conversions for them.
What kind of clients they are?
Yeah, so it is a physiotherapy clinic in East Vancouver, and they've been running their clinic for a number of years now. But after COVID, they were really, really looking to grow the business and get more new clients. Yeah, and I think previously they were working with another provider, but they just didn't feel like the provider was able to provide like very high-touch, hands-on approach in supporting them because it was a bigger agency and it wasn't based locally in the Metro Vancouver area. So they didn't have a really good understanding of the locations and the type of patients they're working with. So yeah, that's who we've been working with and trying to help. And today, my team and I are going to figure out how we can further optimize their campaigns and help them out more by doing some testing. So a lot of our work will revolve around discussing that, but also just general, client communication and production work as well.
How long have you been working with this client?
Yeah, so we've been working with them for just over a year now.
Just over a year?
Yeah.
In marketing agency, I'm curious, do you guys have a lot of churn rate or anything like that?
So my understanding is that as an industry benchmark, clients stay with an agency for about 2 years at a time. For our ongoing monthly clients, our churn rate is actually relatively low. Most of our clients stay with us for 3 years or more because I think we're a very customer-centric team, and we really focus on getting to know the business and integrating ourselves into the business. And we take a more kind of customized, consultative approach. So it's just very different than, say, an agency that has a productized service.
Usually help service-based businesses or product-based as well?
Yeah, so we mostly work with service-based businesses, and we traditionally don't work with that many product-based e-commerce, D2C businesses. Figuring out how we can get more inquiries and responding to inquiries is my main job.
As a CEO, you're either doing crisis management or getting new clients, and then you can't, and then basically setting up quality and standards for your client.
Yeah.
You can't really, micromanage your employees anymore.
Yeah.
You can't be like, oh, you have to be doing this, and this. And then employees do not have creative freedom.
Yeah.
And if they are not able to learn and grow, then either they're going to be unhappy or they're just not going to care for the job.
For sure. Yeah. Thankfully, we don't have a lot of crises. So my main job now really is how do we get bigger? How do we get better customers? How do we get existing customers to stay with us longer? Things like that.
But getting clients itself is hard. And maintaining and keeping clients is even harder. So, and then you sometimes get bad clients. And how do you deal with all that? First, maintaining client. What can you do to make sure the client is happy and stays on with you and not switch? And then, what do you do if you get a bad apple?
Oh, good questions. So, in terms of client retention, I think we do a lot of check-ins with our clients to make sure that all their concerns, questions, and even anxieties are addressed, right? Because I feel like sometimes when there is a trust issue, they will look elsewhere and look to switch. But if you are the most trusted, most knowledgeable expert for them, why would they switch, right? So we always try to be that person or that team for them, and we found that really helps with client retention. And then in terms of a bad apple, I've learned a lot about that through my experience, because when I first started my business and I would have a negative interaction or experience with a client, I'm always like, is it me? Is it them? What went wrong here, and how can I do better next time? And I've learned a lot throughout the years, whereas now I feel more comfortable and confident in where I stand, what my expertise is, what my knowledge base is, to more confidently say, no, this needs to be like this, otherwise it won't work. Because I have, a track record and history and experience to reflect that and demonstrate that.
One thing that we can get into more about bad apples. That how do you manage that? You said you can't be sure about it. That if you did something wrong or if they are not the right client for you, that expectation management is very important. And I think client expectations are always kind of difficult to manage. In my opinion, I don't work that much with service-based businesses, right? So I don't know exactly, but in my past when I was working as a marketing specialist, at that time the client expectation was with marketing department different, and it was basically blurred between sales department. So it was marketing is not getting sales, but then I was like, no, marketing is getting you leads. The sales department needs to land those sales.
That's true.
Like marketing department did so well that it has increased your leads by 300% of relevant clients and relevant inquiries.
Yeah.
Those inquiries are coming in, but then salespeople need to make sure that they're landed.
Exactly.
So it's like, it's like client sometimes might not be able to distinguish that, and they're like, oh, we want sales, we want to increase our revenue, and we need to improve our marketing. Sure. But like, how do you manage those expectations?
Yeah, so I think that's a big learning point, right? You learned a lot from your experience there, and as did I, to come in and say, this is the value we're gonna provide. So as an example, we are gonna give you as much leads as possible. What you do with those leads will support your business, but we can't make a sale for you. So just going in with that expectation and being really clear of like, what is it that we're here to do, and not say like very general things like, we're here to help your business be better, because that could be interpreted in so many ways. And I think that really lends itself to a lot of miscommunications and misunderstandings, where now we can very clearly, confidently come in and say, we come in, we create a strategy for you to take you from this to this. So there's a lot more clarity and understanding there. Yeah.
So basically be very clear about the expectation, what you're going to do, and what kind of result is expected, and what you expect your client to do with that result.
Exactly. And on top of that, what kind of cooperation we require from the client, right? So as an example, we are looking to run ads for our clients, and then we request maybe headshots or some kind of materials from them. But if they don't have it, it makes our jobs really difficult, right? So we have to be very clear, like, in order for this engagement to be successful, not only are we gonna work hard, we also need A, B, and C from you. Hello.
Hello. How's it going?
Good, how you doing?
Good, nice to meet you.
This is Kieran.
Hi Karen.
How's it going? Nice to meet you. Just
Oh,
gotta get
that's
used
further
to
than I thought, because I guess he moved.
Yeah, I gotta get used to doing traffic again.
It only took me 35 minutes this morning to get here.
That's actually really good.
Yeah.
For where I'm.
I was shocked. Items through emails, and then Kieran deals with all the client stuff through emails. So we're both emailing all the time, but in different contexts.
It's like for marketing, you are also trying to get leads, right?
Yeah.
So how do you market your own business?
That's a really good question. Have you heard of a saying called "the cobbler has no shoes"? It's always difficult because I think people expect the same marketing that we do for our clients to work exactly the same way for us as an agency. But actually, that's a misconception, because a lot of people in decision-making marketing roles, like directors of sales and marketing, they are not necessarily going out there and going through advertisement, going through Google to find their marketing partners, in terms of how they search. So we just have to find very distinct and unique ways that work for our target audience, where they hang out, and approach them that way. And this could be through webinars, industry associations, chambers of commerce, and things like that.
So Karen, how long have you been working for Tiny Planet?
Just over 2 years now. Started in February of 2023.
Oh, what do you work as?
I'm a project manager or accounts manager, kind of the same thing.
So what's your daily routine or typical day looks like?
Get up in the morning, make myself a cup of coffee, and then I'll sit down and usually review all my emails first in the morning, create like a checklist of what I have to do for the day, put it all in ClickUp, and then just start going from there, and then filter in emails as they come and tasks. Usually it's a lot of checking in with clients, seeing how campaigns are going, seeing how projects are going, and just kind of pushing things along slowly.
Julie, now we are going to the clients.
Yeah, so we're going to Woodland Physiotherapy to pay them a visit, chat with them about their project, answer some of their questions, and then hopefully we'll film a video testimonial with them.
All right.
I know! Nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
This is Mad, who's filming for us.
Hey! Oh, you got the camera. Official.
Yes, we found a room.
Cool.
Perfect.
We want to, talk to you a little bit about your business, like how you started it, how it's been throughout COVID and beyond. Just hear a little bit about your story as well.
Okay. Well, I guess I broke out as an independent physio wanting to open up my own clinic in 2015. And so I had like a small room inside a doctor's family practice, which was like good for one person. And then I started a family, and then Calvin was kind of thinking the same thing, and we're like, okay, well, how about let's like team up and create our own physiotherapy clinic. And physio inside the doctor's office, like there was no space, there was no gym, there was no place to do any sort of like therapeutic exercise, we couldn't store anything. And so then we decided to build like a brick and mortar, like our own physiotherapy clinic just like down the road, but still in the same neighborhood. So we'd done that for maybe a couple of years. And then, so like 2016, I guess like I started 2015, 2016, and then we joined up in 2019 or 18 or something. 2018. Yeah, it was 2018, and then we started this project of building it out, and so it was March of 2020 that
Perfect timing.
we opened our doors, and then we were very quickly shut down. So we were open for a month or
almost
something.
exactly a month.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the pandemic was really hard on us.
Yeah. Is that when you opened this spot, or did you open somewhere else?
Yeah.
We
Oh,
had
wow.
just finished all our renos and been open for about almost exactly 4 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah.
I still remember the day we kind of shut it down and we
Yeah.
said goodbye to our receptionist team, and
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was like, well, it was just literally
I hope
us
it's
two
gonna be
after that.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so scary.
Yeah, and especially like as a business that is like, it's a clinical practice. Like we work physically with humans.
Yeah.
Right, and so that was like the most like anti-pandemic like job.
Did you try to do any like remote?
We tried,
sessions? But I feel like
it
it'd
was
be
like
hard, right? Like-
exercise progression. And this
Yeah.
is like how I would release this muscle myself.
Yeah.
But it was really scary, and like I had a 1-year-old at the time, and so it was like so like for me like personally it was like very scary, and then we just like didn't know how it was gonna happen, so we just sort of like and so it's like thankfully like with the
Why did you pick Tiny Planet Digital as your digital marketing service provider?
Well, initially I heard of you, Julie, from a friend of mine who's also in marketing. And so you came as a personal recommendation. But then kind of looking at all the different alternatives available, I really liked the fact that that Tiny Planet was based out of Vancouver, because so much of our clientele look for physiotherapy and like a health clinic based on where they live and for convenience. And so we wanted to have somebody who was very familiar with the different demographics here in Vancouver in order to kind of help us reach kind of like our community a little bit better. Yeah.
Before engaging with us, what was kind of your perception of Tiny Planet Digital, and how has that changed since working with us?
That's a good question. I would say initially, like my perception was that like all marketing firms are the same, and you put money in and then you get business out. And I had, again, as someone who doesn't know enough about marketing to do it themselves, I was just sort of like, oh, okay, you know, I thought Tiny Planet would just be just like the kind of another marketing company that we'd worked with before that was not locally owned. And so I was really glad to learn that you guys had familiarity with Vancouver. You had familiarity with physiotherapy. I felt like there were a lot of marketing agencies that didn't know what JNAP was, which is like a really powerful scheduling and billing software that health clinics use. And so you already had all this familiarity, and it was just like stepping into something that was way more comfortable.
How would you, I guess, rate your experience, say out of 5, 1 being not satisfied and 5 being really satisfied in terms of your experience working with our team, as well as the value you're receiving in our services?
I feel like we would rate you guys a 5. 100%.
Totally.
I'm not just saying that. I find that kind of similar to echo what Amanda said, getting to know you both and having the chance to speak with you both one-on-one at all of our kind of monthly meetings, or to even to even have the option to have like asynchronous meetings where we can the flexibility to be able to like review the information on our own and then to book in-person meetings as we feel like we need to, has given us the flexibility to be comfortable with like engaging with you guys as a marketing firm, and also the attention to us as like, you know, sometimes I perceive us as like a smaller account perhaps. You know, there's probably bigger fish out there in the industry, but I always feel like we get enough of that attention to the details that we are interested in and we want to like focus on. So
Alright, so we just wrapped up the client visit at Woodland Physio, and now Julie is heading back to her home office to work more, and I'm going for another meeting downtown. So Julie, any closing thoughts?
Well, I thought it was really exciting. I think I mentioned earlier in the video, this is really our first time meeting Kelvin and Amanda in person, and they're just absolutely lovely. And I'm so glad that, you know, my team and I at Tiny Planet Digital are able to be a part of their business and growth journey and support them where they need it. And I don't know, listening to them, you know, share their business story, learn more about what they're looking to do and how we have been able to support them has been really, really heartwarming, and I feel so grateful for having the opportunity to do something like this as an entrepreneur.
Alright folks, so this was the wrap of our first episode of Founder Series. We started with Julie as we started our podcast with Julie, so I thought it would be a good idea to start this one as well. And let's see who we do a second episode with. Thank you.